In this episode, you'll get a breakdown of the quote, decisions made in fear always cost you twice, and why every fear based choice compounds into bigger problems. Welcome to Energy Alignment for Entrepreneurs, the podcast helping entrepreneurs be free from anxiety, stress, and tension through balancing emotions and consciousness expansion. All right, here's three things we're going to look at today. Number one, why the safe choice usually creates the exact problem you are trying to avoid. Number two, how to recognize if you're deciding from fear or wisdom. And number three, the courage tax, paying up front versus paying with interest later. Very good because it makes it practical. But let's dive into the quote. So we have decisions, we have fear, and we have always costing you twice. This is an interesting quote. I like it a lot. It's basically saying, hey, what seems hard actually creates an easier life. And the easy path, right? The wide gate is the path to hell. They say that. They say that very blatantly. It's obvious. The narrow road is the road where you choose your hard. All right? It's hard to be jacked, ripped, kind, loving, caring, affectionate, financially abundant, intelligent, hardworking, compassionate, full of love, clean. It's hard to do all those things. It's hard to be lazy, rude, angry, lustful, weak, empty, jealous, insecure. All right? You get my point? It's hard to be both of that. So you got to choose your heart. You got to. And that's really coming from when you have fear arise, it takes courage, it takes strength, it takes you in your spirit in the moment that fear arises to notice it and say, you know what? I'm going to look that wave in its eyes. You have a 10-foot wave coming at you. If you've ever been at the ocean around waves, you know that if you just stand in front of a crashing wave, it's much harder than if you have the courage to say, oh yeah, I'm just going to dive right through that wave. Of course, I'm not talking about like 30, 40-foot waves. I haven't surfed yet. Going to surf, promise you that. But what I mean is like 10-footers, 8-foot waves, 6-foot waves, whatever, 4-foot waves. When you dive through those, hey. So what are we really articulating here? We're saying that when fear arises in your being, God is kind of with you moment to moment. Not kind of. That's what an awareness is. That's what enlightenment is. But you can't really define purity because words are limiting while spirit is infinite. All right? But the infinite intelligence within you runs through your veins and blood, pumps your heart moment to moment to moment. You, with awareness, with alignment, can notice the moment that you fall into limitation. In other words, identity. Identity is built from three pillars: knowledge, memory, experience. You will have a trigger in outward material existence in life that creates an energy within you. Specifically, in this moment, we're looking at the example of fear. So that fear arises. I'll give you a story. One time I was at a grandma's birthday party. Didn't expect this beautiful lady to be there. Saw her. Noticed, man, I need to go talk to her. Fear. What if? As I was thinking, what if, I was already walking up to her. I said, I don't give up. You know, I'm not living in this fearful manner. I'm going to go shoot. I'm going to go chat. What happened? I mean, she's not my girlfriend to this day, but we spoke for 3, 4 hours on that night, and it was probably it was so amazing. If I didn't do that, that night would have been, but the fact that I did made that night go by fast. It was enjoyable. It was fun. And the reason I share that story, it may be shallow to certain people, but to me, I don't know. It's in the moment you notice the fear arise. What if that? What if this? What if she? What if? And you just walk up and you do it. That's why, what did they say? Like Jordan Peterson tells a story about about King Arthur's knights, and he had them go into the darkest part of the forest. Why? Like, as above, as below. If your roots do not go to the depths, if you're not open, willing, and strong enough to look and be in the dark, then your light, it can't shine. The whole purpose of light is to kind of shine through the darkness, right? So you do this transmutation through moment to moment awareness and sensitivity. And there isn't any one practice. I'm going to be straight up front with you because with this spiritual life, you're going to have phases where you feel so connected. Then you're going to have phases where you're like, where did that go? And that's because life works in different ways. Sometimes you're really working on your human stuff, and sometimes you're really working on your inward, kind of unseen essence in nature. The beautiful part about it is that it's always integrating, it's always connecting. You can't have the unseen without the human, and you can't have the human without the unseen. Now, that's with duality. We live in a clearly dual world. There's temperatures, there's water, there's oil, there's unmixable things. But then there's also union, there's oneness, there's unity, there's non duality. But too much of anything becomes a problem, right? So, what we're really looking at is when you live from lower emanations, you compound those energies. You toss that rock into the water ripples. You are constantly sending out unseen vibrations, and you're responsible because those vibrations, they're unseen, but they create what your life is. The things that you do today set you up for what you call your future, but your future is only created via what you do now. So, is there a future? Talking to this girl about this. Like, yeah, tomorrow's real, but by the time tomorrow comes, it's now. So, how real is tomorrow? And that's just another way to say you need to tie your camel, right? You have bills to pay, taxes, things to note down, be organized, business, money to make, people to communicate to, right? Responsibility and accountability. But then you also have something much simpler. Oop, there it goes. I digress. That simpler thing is what you are. And it's a moment to moment living. It's a real, genuine simplicity in motion. It's a revelation in relationship to rhythm. It's a awareness around that which obstructs the dance and the play and the looseness. Just don't take things too seriously, but you do need to be serious. Like you got to be you got to be serious enough that people can take you seriously, but then at the same time you're not too obsessed with them taking you seriously. Right? I'm playing with you with words. Let's hop into point number 1. Give me a moment. I need some water. Whoop. Yeah, I needed that water. Good lord. Number 1. Why the safe choice usually creates the exact problem you are trying to avoid. Man, it's basically being too cautious is not taking risk. The only way that you get great in life is taking risk. Why? Because God loves the nature of faith. And that means that you do not settle. You do not just blindly say, yeah, this is all I can be. I guess this is it. You don't settle. You break the limiting beliefs down. And you look at the way you're projecting barriers and limitations into your own thinking, right? And you realize the relationship between thought and action. And then you start to decipher, all right, what are the inputs that create this form of thought, which puts me into a state of, oh, I want to be safe. Like, yeah, I'm at this point now where I'm 27. I'm really like, that's why I'm working 50 hours a week because I'm like, all right, it's family time, it's wife time, it's children time, it's abundance time. I've been working risky on entrepreneurial endeavors for the past decade. And you know what? I've like materially, I still live with my mom and my sisters. I'm 27. But the amount of money I've invested into myself went to my own college, if you will. Now, Do I have like a official PhD? No, but is this what I'm communicating to you on a PhD level? Yes, it is. So what can I say? I've had this long-term vision. This isn't like massaging myself. I'm sharing with you the confidence, the real example of me saying, you know what? Safety matters, but risk taking is important. And so I guess what I'm saying is the thing I wanted to avoid the whole past decade, 10,000 hours plus put into me has been I didn't want to die at 25 and not be buried until 75. I didn't want to live a life that was soul draining, where I'm in a corporate box. Fuck that. Now, for other people, it might be okay, right? Everyone's a little bit different. But for me, that was the epitome of hell. Like working indoors, having someone micromanage me all day, feeling like a little slave. Now, in the work I do, it's very much hard work, but I feel free in doing it. And yeah, so to bridge this, it's just seeing, hey, I'm going to notice when there are opportunities. I'm not going to entertain cowardice nor fear. Why does Christ say in the Bible, why does the Bible say, do not fear? Do not fear. This is a game of emanations and frequencies, and fear is one of the lower ones. So is anger, lust, jealousy, and envy. There are other shame too, right? Guilt as well. But your heart's a compass. The lower emanations aren't bad. The lower emanations are only bad if you do not learn through them. Yeah, that's a mic drop. Because when you feel pain, that's what I was saying in the last episode with the girl, it's purification. And pain's gonna come through many different situations, but you're always gonna get stronger, better, faster, more powerful through letting yourself be purified. And how do you do that? Well, you don't be a coward, meaning that you don't act the victimhood, you don't blame others, you don't stay angry. I definitely hurt from that situation, but I move through. When you move through, you process, you transmute it, comes back to you. It's like I just got turbocharged through pain. Cool. Cool. Now, let's hop into point number 2. How to recognize if you're deciding from fear or wisdom. And this is going to come in very much like talk to yourself. Do you hear the tone in which I'm speaking right now? The reason I prioritize this at 7:15 a.m. EDT. I'm doing this early in the day. I woke up at like 5 because this sets me up for a great day. Do you feel it? Because I feel it and I know it. And see, the more strong, the deeper your honesty, the higher the degree of knowing thyself, the easier and more clear it's going to be to make the right choices. To put the big stones into the cup first and then, put the small stuff in after. Meaning I got plenty of different things I'm going to do today, but this was one of the big ones that I needed to do because I see relationship, right? So, point is how to recognize if you're deciding from fear or wisdom. Well, you can feel it in the moment that you're being. So it's in the moment, okay? And the wisdom is going to feel light and spacious, or it's going to feel heavy but pure and true. Meaning that wisdom isn't good nor bad. Wisdom is openness, is discernment and not judgment, is feeling without getting and taking everything so personal. Now, again, part of life is your human needs to dissolve, like the triggers, the immaturity, the reactivity, the grudges, the holding on to that which you can't control. The everyday ruler can't be too wrong. So, we're continuously being invited to change how we relate, how we play with the world, how we dance. And you can feel it in your blood and bones when you're living in lower emanations. Just look at yourself, write to yourself. Take a moment to stop moving and sending it out and start feeling, right? I think part of why I'm single right now is because I return to sender. I mirror energy. And when people get an energy that they don't like, well, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I am saying I very clearly do mirror energy. That's like the one thing I've been committed to for the past decade. If there's anything in my life, in my heart, that is most important to me, it's being this pure energy mirror and not distorting that mirror. So, how do I put it? You can see when you're projecting instead of reflecting, right? Projecting is you placing your stuff on others. Reflecting is you dropping all of your stuff for compassion, love, and union. You get the depth of what I'm saying through doing the work. The words, again, parables, metaphors, what we're actually talking about cannot be communicated via words. So I'm doing everything in the power to allow for these words to hit home in a way in which you feel the essence beneath the words. All right. Point number 3, the courage tax, paying upfront versus paying interest later. I dropped my pen. I'm going to go get my pen. And we're back. So the courage tax is, I think I spoke about this. Well, I know I did. It's choosing your heart, right? Okay. It's hard to take care of your body, but isn't it harder to be 70 and be obese or broken and not be able to play with the grandchildren because you neglected your body? And as I say that, see, I'm going to be super transparent. As I say that, in my consciousness, I notice, like me, the one who smokes tobacco, who likes tobacco. You see, this is what I mean. I can notice that without judging myself and understand, man, like I pray for guidance. I truly do pray for guidance in relationship to being my best and living the healthiest life I possibly can. But at the same time, there's this grace for myself. I'm not saying, I'm not shaming myself. I'm feeling guilty. I'm just being man. So I say that, I notice, yeah, my thought immediately goes to the one, me, the tobacco guy. Now, maybe that's part of my identity. Maybe that's part of something I need to work through. Hey, this is life, all right? Part of being able to do the work is not taking everything so seriously, because that's how you take risk. Is you say, "Hey, I'm not going to live in fear, and I'm going to be kind of open and courageous and confident and realize, hey, there are things I can change and I will change, and they will in God's timing." At the same time, you put logical effort into prayer, devotion, alignment, the right actions that allow for the energy of gratitude, so on and so forth. All right. So when you pay up front, it's basically like, all right, how do I feel when I sit on the couch, eat potato chips, versus how do I feel when I record this and go do a workout and walk my dog, and work on my business? It's very obvious. It's very obvious. So, this game, what I want to leave you with here is that it's not that complicated, but it will feel complicated. And when it feels that way, you need to do something simple. All right? Because the more simplicity builds in your life, the stronger the foundation gets. And I pray that that's what someone's doing right now. So, I love you all very much. I truly do. New episodes are out Monday, Thursday, 10 a.m. EDT. Please do share this with someone if anyone in your life needs to hear it, if you have benefited from this. Thank you. I truly care for you. I'm so grateful for you.